Hello everybody. I want to talk about something in the Lucy Letby discussion, and it's been prompted by me thinking about Lucy standing up for the truth and sticking with the truth all the way through to the end. And I saw so I watched Stuart's video last night and this morning again about Lucy's grievance, the statement that was read out by Karen Rees, I think, and it was really good. I'm so grateful to Stuart for doing justice to it by giving Lucy that voice, reading out parts of what she'd written. And then I wanted to talk about this comment because Lucy was in the Countess of Chester Hospital, and I'm comparing this to a toxic workplace. I'm comparing this toxic workplace to an abusive relationship because of this comment. Why didn't she just leave? And I don't want to blame the person who made this comment. I don't want to blame them. I feel like it comes from a place of protection and wishing that they could have, prevented the harm that came to Lucy, and sort of this desperate feeling of, why did this have to happen? Why did it go so far? Why has it ruined her life like this? And however, it's a victim blaming statement, and it's used in commenters on controlling and abusive relationships to say, if it was that bad, she should have left, or why didn't you just leave? And I know some of the reasons that you can't just leave. You can't, by the way. It's not that you don't. You can't. So that's some of the stuff I'm going to go into about why she didn't just leave in my filter of what I've gone through in my life. So first of all, and also other people that I respect who are supporting Lucy have said that if they were her, they would have left the Countess when all this stuff was coming up, or like she realised what was happening, she couldn't deny it anymore because she'd had these things in writing after her grievance of like, she knew these things were being said about her, but then she had it in writing. So she couldn't argue it away to herself anymore. And people who are really doing a great job in supporting Lucy and or justice being done and or miscarriages of justice, etc. They've said things like, why didn't she leave? If I was there, I would have left, and she should have left. But it is a judgmental comment, and I'm glad to those people that they don't understand why someone can't just leave. I'm glad that they have that kind of life experience where they haven't been in such a situation where they're controlled and or there are reasons that they can't leave a situation which is harming them and it's dangerous. And it is judgmental. And the first thing I wrote down here was criticising her strength of character. Because to say, why didn't she just leave, to me that is an insult to her, because even though it's meant in a protective and supportive way, I believe, by people that have said it, it's criticising her strength of character, because just leave would be, okay, fine, you won. Basically, the consultants would have won in this. They were trying to prove that she killed babies, even though she didn't. And they were going to get her out of the hospital, out of that job, out of their lives. That's what they wanted. They would have won that. So it's not really the point that they would have won. It's like the point that she had the strength to stick to the truth, and that's because she knew she hadn't done anything wrong. and why should she leave? So it's kind of like stubbornness, but there's a lot more to it than that, because stubborn makes it kind of sound like a bad thing. She was incredibly brave to stay. And yeah, so I just want to skip ahead now, but I'll try not to. Okay, so the way Stuart starts his video, I thought it was also kind of good, to me, encapsulated the point that I want to make, because in his video he said, along the lines at the beginning of his video, that as someone who's casually watched court proceedings in the past and not looked into it and delved into it deeply, then he wouldn't have assumed that there would be a reason that Goss prevented certain evidence from being shown to the jury or used in the case. He would have assumed it was sort of time constraints and things like that. Innocent reasons, don't know if innocent's the right word, understandable reasons maybe you could say, or justifiable reasons, but here's video from yesterday which really just goes into how there isn't a justifiable excuse to not let, just move that along a bit, not let certain evidence be given to the jury. So there's a naivety that we have because we've grown up in, well, some of us have grown up in England or the UK, and it's supposedly a democratic, I don't know if that's the right word, by the way, because I'm not good on all these sorts of things, but it's like supposed to be a civilised society. Then we wouldn't think that our systems are so corrupt, and this is the naivety that we have about, I can't say all of us, sorry, when I say we, but some people have a naivety about the systems that are in place, or the police and their behaviour, excuse me, and they can't fathom that there can be corruption in these what are they called? Organisations. So let me move this along a bit. So I don't know if I made that point. The way Stuart starts naivety, the fact that he said this case brought to light for him a deeper understanding. So he came in with, he didn't use the word naivety, but that's what I'm going to call it at the moment. So he had the naivety that, like, things would be done right, things would be done properly, correctly, and fairly and truthfully. Self-sacrifice saves life. So what I want to say here is, I think I need to zoom out because it's all just part of the same. Yeah, I can't get them all on at once. Lucy was literally working with life and death situations in her job, and she's somebody who preserves life and wants to save lives and prevent deaths, and in that sense, some things are bigger than ourselves. Some things are bigger than ourselves. Saving babies in life and death scenarios, preserving life which has been born into this world, that is what Lucy was doing in her career. That's how serious it is, and that's how good her heart is, that was her career choice, that she was physically saving lives and preserving lives, and what can be more precious than life itself? And this stuff wouldn't have come to light if she had just left. Okay, so she's basically given up her life. I'm not saying that I wanted her to end up in prison. It's really heartbreaking to me that she's in prison and that she's gone through all this trauma. It takes something good to expose something bad. She is the something good. This stuff wouldn't have come to light if she just left. would it? So, as for some of the reasons, first of all, this is a bit of a complex idea, so I don't know if I can summarise it, but I'm going to try. Holding on to beliefs, and I'm going to name a couple of examples. So we are really fixed to our beliefs. That's what I think. I see myself as an open-minded person who can be flexible and change my mind about things. But some things that I was brainwashed with before, say, the age of 5, or maybe before the age of 10, in society or in my family, I'd say in my family mostly, that I have these certain beliefs, so it's not that easy for me to actually change the belief. So one of the beliefs I had was that marriage is the thing that makes your life worthwhile and makes you safe, and that you are I wanted to aim for that in my life, and I believed it to the extent that I got married. I was happy when I got married, even though when I got married I had been attacked by the person, and I was under control of that person from I guess the time I met him. But I was happy to get married because I had a belief that marriage is the answer. It makes me worthwhile as a person. It's safety. I believed in the vows of marriage. So because if I say them, then I mean them. So then if someone else says them, then they must mean them. I take things literally in that way. So that's an example for me. And another example of holding on to beliefs is a belief in the good. I'm a very naive person. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is that I believe in good, truth, and kindness, compassion, and honesty, these kind of good values. And good is how I try to run my life. So then whenever I'm approached by something that is not within that, there's a fly over there. I retract from that situation and shut down from society and communicating with other people and relationships and so on. So Lucy has this goodness in her and truth, and she is such a good person that she's almost like a not perfect victim, what do you call it? Perfect, is it perfect victim? That might be what I'm looking for. Because, when someone survives abuse, if I compare it to an abusive relationship again, then when or if they finally escape, which can take a woman, I think it's 7 times of trying to leave that dangerous situation before success. Good. Where was I going? I've forgotten where I started. We believe in the good in other people, and we can't imagine that someone might actually not have a good intention or not be having our best interests at heart. Sorry, I've forgotten, that didn't really exactly link together because I lost track of what I was saying. So in Lucy's case, I was going to talk about some of the statements. So, let's have a look. So Lucy said, this was her grievance, so this was before she was taken to the police. My life was turned upside down. So her life had already been... Oh, sorry. I didn't put it on the screen then. My life was turned upside down. Yeah. Her life was turned upside down. And the thing that she has been hurt by, or had been hurt by at this point, is the people that didn't support her. I find it extremely unprofessional and hurtful to have been made aware of such unsubstantiated and sensitive comments as listed below. So things like angel of death, murder around the unit, cold and calculated. If she wasn't removed, the police would be called. That there was a link between her... that there was a knowingly deliberate action by her, which is a lie. And it's that she's been made aware of these things. Where's it gone now? I find it extremely unprofessional and hurtful to have been made aware of. So it would have been kinder if she didn't know. She knew because she could feel the whispers, but she did. Seeing it in writing and being made aware of these things that are lies that are being said about her, giving a voice to them and putting them in black and white made them more hurtful to her, and it's really heartbreaking. And I wish I had a better way of going on to the next one now. Next page. Let's see if I can just find the next bit. Oh, that must be Karen Reese. She was disappointed to have discovered with her grievance. That's not what I was looking for. I see. She says in a minute that the reason for remaining in work, I'm completely innocent. They tried to make her lie to colleagues, so they intentionally cut her off from her support network that she could have had in work, because she said they were a close-knit unit that used to, some of them, be friends with each other. The consultants and the gang intentionally cut her off from support network, and this is a tactic which is always used in abusive or controlling relationships. I wanted to point something out, but let me see if I can find where it is in here. She was really scared, by the way. Look, I could not enter for fear of seeing any of you. Well, I understand that because they were a danger to her, so she was right to be scared of that. And she didn't want to be scared. She's so brave. It's absolutely incredible what strength of character she has. Let's have a look at this one, because I'm looking for something, but let me see if it's on this one. Oh, yeah. She's never had anything to hide. She's such a better example of a manager than they are. A leader. That's the word I want to say. She's a better leader than they would ever be. After working with you all in a professional manner, I've been hurt and disappointed by those of you who did not openly raise concerns, felt unable to be more supportive of me in this situation. So in other words, that really hurts. Yeah, I've experienced that too. It's the point when you've spoken the truth, you haven't done anything wrong, and your support starts to drop away. People stop trying to speak up for you. That's extremely hard to go through. And I've got one more post-it note left, time off, brewery comment. So I don't have this to hand because of my energy restrictions, that I can't prepare this better than I would if it was if I could. But Brewery had said he was kind of flabbergasted. This wasn't his word, sorry, but I'll try and explain what he said at some point, that he was flabbergasted that she went back into work at the weekend. So it was going to be a busy weekend of work on the neonatal unit. She was literally protecting babies from death. She was keeping babies alive. She was working, she was doing that amazing job. And then there were concerns and worries on the unit. And Brewery expressed that he was shocked. I don't have the quote, sorry. He was shocked that she actually went back in that weekend to work. Well, come off it. So in other words, he wanted to run away from the unit because of things going wrong on the unit. So she put her, what's ended up as like, she put her quality of life on the line here because she's now in prison, so that she could go and save the babies, because it was crap in there, it was rubbish in there, it was dangerous in there, babies were dying more than before. There was like a lot of problems going on in there. It wasn't safe for those babies. She went in to try and prevent deaths and try and preserve life. And Brary's reaction to that was like, what the heck are you doing going in there? You know, he wanted to like run away from there. So he was shocked that she actually went into work. And the way he talked about that in an interview was as if there was something like a red flag about her going in there, going to work, after the concerns have been raised about increased mortality rates and so on. So, see if I can summarise. Why didn't she just leave? I find that comment, even though it comes from a good place, I think, in a lot of people's minds, why didn't she just leave? I wish she'd left. I wish she could have left before all this had happened. Yes, they wanted to have protected Lucy, and they don't want her to be behind bars for something she didn't do, and that's where she is right now. But she couldn't leave. She was passionate about this job, and oh yes, I missed something. This is back to the belief. So I've worked all my life for this. She always wanted to do this, and she put her heart into it. And some of that was attached to it being at Chester and the history she had of working at the Countess, and the fact that she felt they'd helped her to reach the success in her career that she had, because she was very well regarded in her performance. And it's not really sort of, why didn't she just leave? It's not that simple. There are bigger things than ourselves. This is probably my summary now. And if I compare it to the marriage idea, I can't just leave. Like, I had that belief about marriage even 8 or 9 years later, when I escaped an abusive relationship, that I'd been in a marriage for 8 years, being harmed daily. And I felt like that my life was on hold. That's the words that Lucy used as well. I still believed in marriage. So it's not easy for us to change our beliefs. I still believed in marriage. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand that, oh, right, there's more to this. There's a nuance to this. You have to actually, the person that you marry has to actually like you. They have to have good character in order to get the safety and care and love and mutual support that I thought came with marriage. And similarly, I would say with Lucy, why didn't she just leave? She believes in good. She believes in saving life. She believes in saving life. You can't just leave that. You can't just be like, oh, well, actually, never mind about what will happen to the babies if I don't go back into the unit and the Countess. Because obviously she was concerned about the state of things in there. Oh, well, never mind. I don't care that much about saving life after all. It's not going to happen. You can't change your belief like that. And yeah, I could probably go on about that for a while, but I think that's basically it. Thanks, everybody.